You're listening to the Comic Crusaders Podcast. I am your host, Al Mega, CEO of Comic Crusaders and Undercover Capes. In this show, I'm sitting down with creators from all walks of life to talk about inspiration, process, the lessons they've learned, and a whole lot more. Wepa, what up, familia, and a happy day to you. What up, this is your boy Almega, and welcome to a brand new Comic Crusaders live podcast. Hey, and today, folks, I got comic book goodness coming your way, all right? It's an independent label with some goodness that's going to blow your mind, and actually it's a dope goodness. About time, right? We're the ones buying books, Coño. Give me some stuff to enjoy, too. All right, so let me introduce the co-founder, the EIC, the writer of Tracy Queen, the one, the only, Lynsey G, and the other co-founder and lead designer and illustrator of Tracy Queen, the one and only Jayel Draco. What's up, kiddos? How you doing?
What's happening? How are you?
Hey, man. Oneshi Press is in the building, folks. They in the building. Let's blow them up. Talk about Tracy Queen and all this adult goodness you got going on. I'm digging it. So
I have never felt so hyped up in my life. I'm so excited right now.
Yeah, let's get it. Let's get it. That's that music. That's that intro. Let's start popping off, yo. For real, this is gonna be a good.
Yeah, like we're about to go into the ring or something.
Yeah.
Right. You ready? Right? Where's Michael? What's his name? The old school announcer.
Yeah.
All right.
Drop mic.
You know,
get ready to.
You know
what?
Wait till I move. That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
Hey. All right. So thank you for taking some time out of your day to chill, you know, and talk about this awesome project that you guys are coming out with, right? Because we have a pre-launch right there, folks. Sign up now, all right? Because believe you me, we're gonna start getting into this. But you know, I love origin stories, so I need to know. Let's start with the lady in the house. Let me know your origin story. Where you from, and how did you get into pop culture? And before you answer that, what I mean by that is who introduced you, if it was not something that you found on your own.
That's a really good question. I was raised in the middle of nowhere in the country in Pennsylvania. Okay. So I really had like very little exposure to pop culture until young adulthood. I moved to New York City when I was 18. Okay. And before that, like I never saw live music. I didn't have cable. There was no comic book store within at least 45 minutes of where I lived. So I just picked up what I could, where I could.
How? I mean, what do you eat? Rabbit ear antennas and, you know, hey, stand over there for signal to me.
Yeah, where I grew up, we actually had like a really tall, like 2-story antenna, and we had this little remote inside that we could use to like turn it.
Oh, what? Oh, fancy.
So you could like hear it outside going like, curry.
Oh, so man.
You could pick up one of the 5 channels we got on our TV a little bit better if it was facing this way.
Oh, wow.
So
crazy.
I was very cut off, but when I was like 8 or 9, my mom, for some reason, got me a Calvin and Hobbes comic book.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And for me, that was it. I was like, okay, I like comics now. And obviously, you know, Calvin and Hobbes was a weekly cartoon.
Hi, Yuki.
Hi, Yuki.
So it wasn't the same as, you know, like reading DC or Marvel comic books, but that's how I really got into the medium of comics. And that was really it for a while. But I also really, really, really loved Star Trek. Okay. As a kid, that was my main pop culture thing.
We still do.
Still love Star Trek.
Do you cosplay as a Trekkie? Come on, be honest.
We have pajamas. We have Star Trek Next Generation pajamas. Now everybody knows.
Lieutenant Commander.
Hey, it's really good. There's a lot of good times then in that house, boy. All right. That's a conversation for Comic Crusaders after broadcast.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that influenced me most was when I was in high school, one of my best friends introduced me to the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Oh, okay, cool.
And I was like, gender bending, fishnets, weird pulp sci-fi, like, yes, this is where I belong. Awesome. And that I really like, the more I create, the more I realize how deeply Rocky Horror Picture Show affected me creatively, because
Oh,
I
wow.
think Tracy Queen actually has a lot of Rocky Horror in it.
Oh yeah. Her battle lingerie.
Yeah.
Battle lingerie. Hey.
Yeah, it's not armor. It's battle lingerie.
Oh, shit.
People are like, that armor doesn't look effective. I'm like, because it's not armor.
Yes, you
She's
do.
a Voltron robot. Oh yeah, look at that beautiful Voltron back there.
I got this is actually, I believe, like the 10-year anniversary one. Then I got this one that was the Build-A figure, and and I love my
Skeletor.
my bad guys. You know?
Me too.
Is that
Me too.
And this is a gargoyle. Yes.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. And then this Jetfire is not. It was a display model, if you believe it, a non-transformable model for people to be able to see what it looked like.
Is that Macros or?
Oh no, that's Jetfire from the Transformers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, very macros like, and this is why I did that, because normally you have it like this, but because I like Macross too, I got it.
Yeah. I think if I remember right, in the early days, right, like Hasbro like got some of the Japanese anime toys and just rebranded them to be like Transformer toys.
Yeah.
So maybe that's one of them.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm a huge villains fan. I grew up loving Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. She's my girl. And then obviously Frankenfurter. So I think I have a long history of like siding with the villain, which I think also plays into Tracy Queen a lot. She's a very morally ambivalent character. So but the main influence, I guess, on Tracy Queen for me is that when I went to college in New York City, I moved away for a few
I gotta ask there. So what made you jump? Here you are in the middle of nowhere, Pennsylvania, with 5 channels, 18 pumps, and you sprinted to New York, or what happened there?
I did. I really wanted to be in a city. And I got accepted to a university in New York, and I was like, all right, I'm going. And it was
she said, buy cows, buy chickens.
For real. It was major culture shock. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, really? I love that. I'd like to know that experience. So you come from this country area, kind of, hardly any people, anybody in town knows you. So what was that first experience like that in New York for you? What was that first week like then? Week 1. That's what I'm kind of curious about.
Well, another major influence on my creative life was that the summer before we started at this liberal arts college I went to, everybody in the entering class was supposed to read Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. And I'm pretty sure I'm the only one that did. So I showed up and I was like, I did the required reading, guys. Gosh, I sure liked Frankenstein. What did you think? And everybody else was like, what? I was such a nerd. Oh my God. But I went on to like reread that book like 5 times, and I wrote like an academic paper about it that got published. Like, I'm a big Frankenstein nerd. So I thank my inability to really integrate into city life right away for letting me get so deep into Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. So I guess that worked out. Yeah, I didn't actually spend much time in the city. I went to Fordham, which is in the Bronx.
In the BX, I know. I'm from OG from New York, so I know.
And but Fordham is a very like gated community. They keep their students like behind walls.
Yeah, it's a jail. We don't need you. We don't need you in the BX. What? Let me go get a snack at the bodega. You'll probably never come back.
It took me a while to even learn about bodegas because I was like sequestered away on the Fordham campus.
God. Bodegas are the best thing on earth. I miss them.
They really are.
It's the
we miss them all the time.
Yeah, now that I'm not in New York anymore, people want me to shut up about bacon, egg, and cheeses, but I won't.
Oh my God, you're after my wife's heart then, because she said the same thing. The bacon, egg, and cheese, you guys don't know how to make it.
On a Kaiser roll? No one else even knows what a Kaiser roll is.
No, they don't. I love you guys right now. Thank you. You're really taking me home. Me and wifey talk about this all the time. We found a shop here in Florida, because where we're at now, the Brooklyn Bagel Shop. And when she bought that, she didn't tell me. She gives me this big one. I bit into. I'm thinking it's gonna be a damn regular, Florida bear. I was like, where did you get this? It's like New York. I went batshit crazy. I was like, do they have rolls? Tell me they got rolls. Jay, that's the only thing they don't got. I was like,
that's
man,
heartbreaking.
if they had the rolls, son. Hey, Toronto.
Yeah, Toronto is close enough. What's up, Tech? How are
Thank you. Thank you for knowing what that is. Very amazing.
Yeah.
So they're actually made upstate New York, and we were talking to someone about this because like the last podcast we were on, What's Your Random? We were talking, we came up and we were like, yeah, so there's like a Kaiser roll distribution plant in Brooklyn, and like no one else knows what they are, and so we were like, oh, I'm sure it's gotta be some kind of like organized crime thing because every single bodega has the Kaiser rolls.
Yes.
And like you have to have them to be a bodega, and if you don't have them, like you go out of business. What is that? And so we were talking to him. He was like, actually, it's really funny you mentioned that because I live in the town where they're produced, and someone else tried to open a Kaiser roll factory, and then was burnt down.
Mysteriously
like literally
burnt down.
their Kaiser roll factory, the only other the second Kaiser roll factory just burnt to the ground.
The only other
one.
Man, that
So
Kaiser mafia is real. The Kaiser mafia.
Kaiser roll mafia out there. If you want to open up a bodega in like Toronto or New York, that area, Connecticut, whatever, like you have to be. You give the Kaiser roll mafia their dues or whatever. I don't know what it is.
Okay, I need to see this as an Oneshi Press comic book now. The
Right?
Kaiser roll
It needs
mafia.
to be like an 8-pager in our
about
next
that.
anthology.
That's a good idea.
So now
That's a good idea.
we're just talking about this on every podcast. It's going to
Just
develop.
spreading the-
Yeah,
You know.
let's do it.
I know we're going to get a knock on the door.
Yeah, but let's do it. All right, imagine, bro. You talking about my roles?
Yeah, right.
All right. So let's get into Jayel's origin
All right,
stories.
well, Hey,
yours,
silent
Jayel.
speaker, how are you? Hey, Tech, how are you? Yeah, no, it's not the bakery mafia. It's the Kaiser roll mafia.
Yeah, the Kaiser roll.
Anyone can open a bakery, but only the Kaiser roll mafia can sell Kaiser rolls.
Yeah.
So yeah, my backstory. I was born and raised in New York.
Well, where in New York?
So I was born in Long Island, South Shore, like pretty much the center of Long Island, Baldwin, right by, maybe you would have heard of like Freeport or Rockville Center or Hempstead. Yeah, so like right in that area. And as soon as I could, right after high school, I went to school in Manhattan.
I love the Kaiser King.
The Kaiser King, right?
We are building a comic book during this interview, apparently.
This is it. We're going for
If we
it.
want to go real bad, the Kaiser.
Oh, double
Very
K.
evil.
You don't want double K coming through. Who?
Yeah, right? K2.
The name you dare not speak aloud. The double
Yeah.
K.
So yeah, I went to school. I went to School of Visual Arts in Manhattan, and I commuted from Long Island to school like 2 hours a day, every day.
Wow.
You
Damn,
know,
2 hours?
sometimes like 3.5 hours of just being on a train.
Long Island Railroad.
So I
baby.
moved to Brooklyn as soon as I could. And
Hey,
then,
we're in Brooklyn, bro. 'Cause I grew up in Greenpoint.
Oh, nice. So
wow,
I lived in Bensonhurst. I've lived in let's see.
You must have lived in Bushwick. Everybody lived in Bushwick. Hey, I lived in Bushwick.
Yeah.
I was on Jefferson for a minute.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. We
yeah,
lived
we
off the
lived near
Jefferson
there
stop. Yeah.
for a few years.
Where else? I lived in
Did you live in Bayside or?
I did East New York.
Bay Ridge.
Bay Ridge. That's
I lived
it.
in Bay
Bay
Ridge.
Ridge, okay.
Yeah.
So you were around some local good shops though in those areas.
Oh yeah. We had our bodegas of preference for different things in our.
It's so
various
different,
neighborhoods.
like when you go into a franchise place that makes food or sandwiches or convenience stores, and everyone who works there is just an employee.
Yep.
They're just there to get their wage and leave. When you go to a mom and pop bodega shop, and everyone who works there is family, and that is their business.
Yeah,
Sink or swim.
bro.
Everyone who leaves that bodega is happy, or they go out of business.
Yeah,
And you could tell they
I love them.
They
Mhm.
care about their store.
Facts.
They
And
care
about
about
the
their
people.
customers. You walk in 3 weeks later, they're like, "Hey, the usual," and I'm like, "You got it," you know, like
Bro,
look it
my
up.
bodega got like when they saw I was short. Hey, you want? I'll give you credit. Don't you worry. One day they saw that I
Yeah.
went buy beers. He's like,
Oh.
"What? You know what? Those beers on me. You always coming through."
Yeah.
And then he opened one up and cheers, kiddo. I'm like,
Yeah.
who does
Yeah,
that?
you don't get that like
Yeah, but
any
7-Eleven will never do that for you.
Yeah.
never ever. You know,
Except on free Slurpee Day.
that's different. That's a,
One small free Slurpee.
that's marketing.
She's making sure that she's not sitting on 7-Eleven, so she'll get her free Slurpee. I see what's going on here.
Seriously. It's important.
Yes, New York is a friendly place.
Yeah,
Although,
it
we
definitely
have a rough exterior. We're very soft and mushy inside.
There's not a lot of pretending to be friendly. There's
Yeah.
a lot of friendliness, but like respect my space, and that's
Yeah.
because people are just so stacked on top of each other
But
all
dude,
the
the
time.
subway.
Yeah,
How many
like-
times you felt like a sardine? I took one of my boys to New York Comic Con with me one time from Massachusetts.
Wow, that is the
Yeah.
full sardine experience.
Yo, from Massachusetts, you always driving. They don't got trains, Bro, he was like, and he just looked at me in the train while he's going stuff. He goes, "How in the fuck did you live here?" It's like, yo, I'm about to hit somebody. What is going on? Why is everybody rushing? Why can't they see that don't fit? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, you're like, what are you talking about?
This is
So
what it
let
is.
me tell you, one of the best trainings in drawing that I had was spending an hour commuting from Bushwick to Midtown Manhattan every day, and just being so cramped like this. And I always stand. I never take a seat because I'm always like, there's somebody who's got back problems or hip problems or leg problems or, someone who's more tired than me. If I'm healthy, I am standing, period.
Yeah.
Even if there's like a free seat, I'm going to wait because I know at the next stop, someone needs it.
And aren't long commutes fun because you can start reading? I mean, I used to read my
Yeah.
graphic novels on that train because I would
Uh-huh.
start early dogs. And people would stop me. Excuse me, what is that?
What are you reading?
Mhm.
So I would draw. So I would stand up and balance, like surfing the train and have my sketchbook in one hand.
Only a New
drawing
Yorker
with
will
the
have that
other.
skill.
And so our first book that we published, actually, Great Nations, it's one of our fantasy books. Almost all of the drawings in that book I did on a train from
Yeah.
Bushwick to Manhattan, back and forth. So it's like, I was like, wow, this is like an hour and a half on my way to work and an hour and a half on my way back from work, or maybe an hour if it's a good day or I catch an express or whatever, but
If
still,
the trains aren't backed up.
I'm on a
miraculously.
train for an hour. Like, what can I do? So I just spent
Mhm.
2 hours a day drawing every single day for like a couple years, and I have just stacks of sketchbooks.
Isn't tech right here? I mean, when you start driving, you lose the productivity.
Yeah.
I mean, that commute time. I mean, that's New York, yo. That's what it is.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? You have that moment of be creative, listen to your music in peace. Even though you
Yeah.
may be scrunched
Reading a
up,
book.
you're still in your own space.
Yeah. I'd listen to podcasts too. I'd always listen to like nerdy science
Oh, yeah.
podcasts, and I would learn so much on my way to and from work.
Now
Yeah,
working from home, our commute is like, we get out of bed, switch from pajamas to clothes, maybe,
Bro,
and we're at the computer,
we're
and
in the
it's like,
thank God my job doesn't turn on the camera automatically because I'm topless every morning in the pajamas drinking a coffee. So, you know what I mean?
we got to get you some of those Star Trek pajamas.
Or
Or
I'll be
whatever.
part of the enterprise with you guys, no doubt.
Yeah.
So,
Or we can get you like Transformer pajamas. I don't
hey,
care.
whatever, bro. Yeah, I'll dress up in anything you need me to, bro, except the skirt. Cause I'm not gonna do that to y'all. Cause I go commando, and if there's a strong wind, things are gonna go wrong. So let me ask, how did you guys connect? I want to know that origin story now.
Well, actually, we met online, but not on like an online dating app like most people like you would think when you hear that we met online. So when we were both living in New York, I was doing some modeling work on the side. And he was looking for a model, and we came across each other on, what was it?
And what were you looking for a model for? That wasn't just a move to get some girls, huh?
No,
No.
I was doing art. I was doing a lot of photo manipulations, or photo bashing, as a lot of people call it, where like you take photos and then like use Photoshop to like make them into more fantastical or abstract or things like that. So I was doing a lot of art with models, and actually learned a lot about illustrating from doing that.
Okay, let me ask that. You think that's an important thing for people to do and to own their artistic craft?
Yeah, I think anything that you can do to get your hands dirty with creativity, like the more you branch out, the more well-rounded you become. And it's a lot quicker to like focus on one thing and do that one thing and excel at it. But like the more you branch out, the more well-rounded it's going to be when you get to that plateau in that thing that really drives you. You know, that's just how I look at it anyway. I mean, I would never tell other people how they should go about,
of course,
you know, their journey because it's so personal. But
well, Jayel's very much a Renaissance man. He has a lot of talents that he has turned into skills by doing a lot of different things.
Excellent. Well, yeah, I know, man. A jack of all trades. I mean, as we all should be. Learn as much as you can, folks. Let's do it. Let's build that. So
a Jayel of all trades, right?
So okay, so homie's looking for models, and you choose, right?
Yeah. Well, we started messaging each other, and we developed a cool idea. We were gonna go on the subway in the middle of the night when it would be empty, and I was gonna be dressed as like a forest fairy kind of creature.
Okay.
And I was gonna like crawl around in the subway, and
love it.
I was really excited about the shoot, but I was also in the middle of like a million projects. I was working full time, and in my free time, I was running an online magazine, and I was also putting together a one-woman art show that I was creating short films for.
Jesus Christ, busy woman! My goodness. Yeah, she really was born in Pennsylvania. It's like, oh my God, it was an outburst of creativity.
Volcanic,
right?
Volcanic.
So many
outburst.
things I had to do. So the night that we were going to do the photo shoot, I was finishing up putting together these short films I made for the art show. And my video editor and I realized that one of the files that we had scattered throughout all of these videos was corrupt, and it was screwing up everything.
No.
So I was a mess. I ended up being like 3 hours late to meeting up with you at Penn Station. And we didn't end up doing the photo shoot. I just said, do you just want to come back to my apartment and we can drink whiskey? And so that's what we did instead. But we ended up spending that whole night hanging out. And the next day I was running all over the place getting stuff ready for the art show. And he actually called off work so that he could help me.
Hey.
And he basically kept me from completely melting down that entire day.
What a gentleman.
Like, yeah.
That's what I do.
The rest was history. I was like, this guy is a keeper.
Bro, awesome, bro. Look at you.
Yeah, it was all because of that corrupt file. It was working for, you know, the double K, like the Kaiser roll conspiracy.
So shortly after that, we realized, you know, he's an artist and I was a writer, and I was working on the script for Tracy Queen already at that time, and he had an idea for a comic book that he wanted to work on, and we both basically needed each other's skills, so we started collaborating together 10 years ago, and we haven't stopped.
And the other comic was Pack, which we're still working on. So Lynsey is writing and I'm illustrating Pack, which was the idea I had, and Tracy Queen, which was the idea she had. Yeah. So we're still 10 years later working on those two ideas that we decided to exchange when we were just getting to know each other 10 years ago.
Little babies.
Little beeps.
Oh my gosh. Folks, let me just tease you real quick. I mean, look, that's Tracy Queen. Epa! Woo! Look at this. Jeez. Rated M for mature, folks. It's not for kiddies. All right?
Not for kids.
So, all right. So let me ask here. Now we're gonna start getting it. All right, because I know, you know, in our prior little conversation, you're telling me you have a lot of journalism experience in a specific field, if you will. How did that journalistic experience help you bring about the ideas that are present in this project?
Well, so the quick backstory of that is that, like I said, I moved away from New York for a few years. I missed it terribly. So I moved back, but I didn't have a job lined up. I was living with friends, and I was like, all right, I have about a month before I need to get a job, or I'm going to have to try to move back in with my parents. So,
no, not back to the cows.
Back to Pennsylvania.
Not that damn antenna again.
Right. So the first job that I found was writing DVD reviews for an adult film magazine.
What?
So,
Why did you find an ad for that?
it was a friend of a friend, like someone I knew from high school, had gone to college with a guy who was now the editor of this skin rag, as they called it.
Skin rag.
And they needed a DVD reviewer. And I was like, all right, sure. And that was my first paid writing job of my life.
Wow. Hey, yo, listen, yo, money is money. You doing what you got to do. And DVDs, folks, that's before Blu-ray, for y'all that don't know.
That is way back.
I picture someone in a suit with a little like Kaiser roll pin.
Oh,
hey kid, you want to make a few bucks?
Dude,
gotta get you writing about the skin rag. You know?
I think that is a perfect thing to give away for the Kickstarter when we do that. The Kaiser roll Mafia, a pin. Yeah, because that means you're part of you're associated. That means you're a safe store. You put that sticker on your window, you're part of the legit Kaiser.
You know this is gonna get us in trouble. There's a real Kaiser roll Mafia out there.
They're gonna come the whole way out to Montana to threaten us.
Well, stop giving away where you live. Oh my God. folks, you heard it here first. If they go missing, you know who to blame. And I'm not giving you my address because I'm moving soon anyway, so I may not be in Orlando. You guys are starting to scare me.
This DVD reviewing gig, basically.
He said you got catfish. That's fucked up.
I was getting paid to watch these DVDs and then write glowing reviews of these films, right? And I thought it was just going to be, for a few months to pay the bills, but I started getting really interested in who the people were in these pornos. Like what's their story? Like I wanted to know more. And I started getting interested too in like realizing the way that I was embarrassed by it and how if I told somebody else what I was doing, they got embarrassed by it. And I was like, I don't know. I got very curious to learn more. So I ended up spending 10 years writing journalism about adult entertainment. I did interviews and op-eds and columns, and I started my own magazine because I was really interested in like not just how the adult film industry works, but also how the rest of us see it and think of it and relate to it. Because there's like two kind of totally different realities going on. Like the people who work in the industry have this set of understandings about it, and then the people who are outside of the industry know nothing about what's going on the inside. And I just became fascinated with how that all works. So Tracy Queen is a character who was half inspired by that work and half inspired by an actual person who I knew in my life whose life was just so over the top that I was like, you need to be a comic book character. So
God damn,
kind of married the two things together.
Makes the Kaiser roll conspiracy seem tame.
Tracy Queen is based on a real person, and the parts of her life that you probably think are the real parts are not. It's the crazier stuff.
What?
But I'm not allowed to say who this person is, so I can't really.
It's okay. I'm not gonna ask that question like most people would, because the way you say it, I already know. It's okay. We're not supposed to know what this is. It's just based on some real shit.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I wrote this character who leaves behind a life of violence, which is something that I feel is like so normalized in all of our entertainment. It's like, yeah, you can show a movie where somebody's head gets hacked off with a saw to kids, fine, whatever. But if you put something sexy in it, oh gosh.
Oh my God, wait. Janet Jackson, a nipple. Oh my God, it's on a nipple.
Yeah.
All right, so you're on that path then because, you, as you said, Tracy chooses a life of pleasure over violence, right? But, because there's always a damn but, isn't there?
Yeah.
Right? The pressure that puts her in is like in a weird way intense. Not that it's wildly intense, it's weirdly intense. So why did you put that in the context of more weirdly intense? And why is that? Why is she going through this pressure in that way? All she wants to do is just be at peace and enjoy life, as we all should. I mean, hey man, if I could have some fun,
right, exactly.
So just to circle back, no. I just want to interject. Yeah, there's always a but, and in Tracy Queen, there's a lot of butts.
All types of butts, not just one T, but two T's too.
Yeah,
it is adult material, so don't you worry.
Equal opportunity butts.
Yeah.
Right. Absolutely. Equal rights for butts, no matter what butt it is.
That's going to be what I take away from this podcast. Equal rights for butts. So the thing that I have realized over like so much time talking to people who make adult film is that people who choose that life, for whatever reason, people go into that for so many different reasons. It's very personal and very individual, but they all face discrimination because of that choice that they've made. Even though, they're doing legal work, they're doing work that pays for their bills.
Yeah.
They face so much pressure, especially women are treated like...
It's a stigma that people don't appreciate. I mean, I do have one person on the team, Brian Adam, and he is all about supporting the adult industry. He said, these people are just people too. So I want you to be on his podcast too. Because when I told him about this book, he goes, why didn't I get them first? Because I said,
awesome.
I promised them. So don't you worry. I'll get you hooked up with him too.
Thank you, Al. That's awesome.
Because we need this. This is great material. We're adults. We're the ones spending money. And while we like to enjoy superheroes, sometimes we need a little bit extra oomph. You know what I mean? Hey, a little extra kick. So, and I also want to start showing off your awesome website.
Trade the tights for some fishnets,
Hey, oh man, you're talking Johnny Hughes language. He is all about the fishnets. Every character he loves, for some odd reason, have fishnets. I'm like, Johnny, is this a thing? And he just goes no comment sometimes.
And that goes right back to what Lynsey was saying before about the Rocky Horror Picture Show being such an influence.
For real.
But look at this, and I want to talk about the design, all this. How did you get into this mindset? I mean, because Lynsey, you have the story, and Jayel, you're drawing it. So how did you guys work together to create the look and the feel of the book? I mean, how was that creative process in that journey?
Early on, we hired a model from Model Mayhem, actually, where
Model Mayhem, shout out.
So we hired a model to basically give us a very extensive photo shoot for reference for Tracy Queen, and we built our character's look around a real person. And that was very intentional. It was really important to us that Tracy had the feel of a real person, and not superhero kind of, exaggerated in human proportions, but just very much like, there's someone who looks like she has, she exercises. She's probably very athletic, but, like a real person.
Yeah.
And for the covers, you'll notice what you have on the screen right now, the cover for number 1, that was done by Stevie Ray Drawn. The cover for number 2 was done by Tangmo Sacchini. The cover for number 3 was done by Sinuous Flora. And they are all very, very powerful illustrators. They are female identified illustrators that we respect as powerful people. And we thought, to have someone illustrate the cover for Tracy, who is our powerful leading female character.
Yes.
We want to get as many different takes on that as possible. So we're going to have, different illustrators for the cover for each one. We're going to try and get as many takes on that as possible. We include lots of guest art in Tracy Queen. So any fans can always submit guest art to us, and we love to put that in the book and show how other people, have their takes on Tracy.
And we've got a variant cover coming up for the Kickstarter for Tracy Queen 3. That was by Diana Camaro.
So that's not a secret. Okay.
And you mean that Kickstarter right here that they could sign up for now that launches when again?
Oh yeah.
When is it
Tuesday,
folks. Hey, yay!
And so, that's really exciting. Diana's awesome. She's done work for us in the past. All these people have been in previous anthologies of ours. We tend to, people that are in our anthologies, we tend to keep them in mind first when we're hiring for future projects.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a good way to, kind of test people out and see where it's going, how responsible they are, how much they cheerlead when we have a campaign going on. That's all like big factors in who we're going to hire for future projects.
Oh, there you go. Is that an easy process when you are looking to hire? What's the process like? Because not just being creators, but also a self-publishing, independent, powerful press. I mean, how is that? How is that journey in the hiring process? Is it something you would say is easy? Explain that. I'm pretty sure I have creators on my team. Like in an hour or so, I'm going to introduce my homie that has his first comic book out, and he's working with a homie from comic that did his publishing presses. Like, here we are, creative people just keep building. So what's your journey like there, and just continuing to build?
So we have open calls for submissions. So we get a lot of creators submitting to our anthologies, like 8-pagers.
Nice.
So we're now working on our 12th anthology.
Wow, 12. Congratulations.
12
That's awesome.
Coming up this year. And so we're at a place now where we have like 12 stories per anthology, right?
Oh,
I mean, these are big books,
So you were talking 12 stories, 8 pages each.
Yep.
Oh, wow.
It's a big book, and then there's art in it and intros and outros and all kinds of other stuff. So, I mean, like, each book is kind of our Rolodex. And when we're like, hey, we've got this project coming up, who should we hire? We go right to our anthologies and flip through them, and we go, that's the style I want to see this next arc of Mr. Guy in, or that's the style I want to see Tracy Queen in. And we just flip through our own anthologies.
Although that being said, I am going to put it out there that it is still much more difficult to find female identified comic book artists. Like, I know that there are a lot of them out there, but there are still so many fewer female artists that they're often booked up like way into the future. And this is awesome, sometimes they're really expensive, which is fantastic.
Great.
Like, charge what you're worth.
Sometimes they're out of our range.
But it can be hard to find people who are available and who we can work with, monetarily, because there just aren't enough female comic book artists. So this is my plea. If you are a female artist and you want to work on comics, please do. We need more of you.
In general,
I went to New York Comic Con. What was it? 2019.
Okay.
And Artist Alley was my favorite, and I went with my wife, and she felt inspired because she was like, "Is it me, or is there more women here than dudes that draw?" I'm like, "Yes." And then the whole thing was not to shit on my fellow men, but these women were just absolutely incredibly talented. I'm like, I'm feeling their art so much more than what I'm seeing other tables here have. So
it's an interesting thing.
They're out there, but a lot of them are also shy, or people don't know how to get in touch with them. They don't know how to market themselves. They are there, but there's also other problems, in regards to this getting noticed. How do I get noticed? And like you said,
gated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the real thing. They have to, like, so many of these awesome women artists have to be twice as awesome. Just
be bold, though. Fuck the gates, crash through them. I don't believe in any type of gate. Because if you do that, come on, man. If you're gating anything, you're really hurting what you love.
Exactly.
So allow everybody to love, and if you don't like it, just shut the fuck up and don't buy it. That's all, and just move on. No need to shit on the creator or the people that love it, and I hate that. Like, if I'm not into something, I'm still willing to listen about it. Oh, maybe that's not for me. Or, you know what? Let me check it out once, and I'll let you know. Fair enough. Let me be really subjective about it, not objective. Where fuck it, I'm just gonna on what it is. Fuck you. You know what I mean?
I mean, if it's like problematic. And like really problematic, there might be times where I'm like, yeah, fuck that.
But you tell them, and I'm pretty sure you're going to be constructive. Well, this is the reason why.
I always
try my opinion and not try to shit on you, but this is my opinion, and this is not what I represent. And believe you me, with my platform, I get things sometimes that I feel just out of place for what we do. I'm here for everyone, and when they try to sell me narratives, I don't really like that because I'm here for everyone. Period.
Sure.
Everyone. I don't care who you are, because at the end of the day, we're earthlings.
If you're making something that makes a group of people feel like they can't take part, You know, like they're not
Yeah,
welcome. That's where I draw the line. That's not.
Yeah, that's awful. Don't do that either. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the gating. That's that whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So like we draw the line at gating. Like when
Thank
it's
you. Us too, man. We don't do that. Totally do not like people like that. And if you're like that, you know, I'm really honest. Middle finger salute to those type of people.
Yeah.
We don't need that in this. I mean, this is a creative endeavor. Do you know what people go through to create? You know what I mean? They put themselves out there, and
Their
for you
whole
to try to bash them or try to say, you know, listen, be constructive, be engaging. Let's converse, not bash. You know?
Exactly.
Well, and that's actually, I was just saying this to Jayel yesterday. It's a big part of Tracy Queen, because I understand that, you know, this is a not safe for work comic. There's some stuff in there that some people are not going to enjoy.
And you shouldn't be reading adult material at work anyway, or any material, because do your damn job. If you have to say not safe for work, it's crazy, you know?
Good point. But like, we try to make it really clear, you know, from the get-go, this is a not safe for work comic. If that's not the kind of thing that you're into,
don't put this on your job browser.
For you, and that's cool. But at the same time, like, I do want Tracy Queen and the themes that the story talks about to be like an invitation for people to think a little bit more deeply about this stuff than maybe they have before.
Stop being such a mental, folks.
Yeah, I want people to feel like, oh, this is a way to engage with this kind of material that feels fun.
Yeah.
But, you know, is also kind of getting me in the brain a little bit too. You know?
It's still the material, but a fun way to approach it.
Exactly. I mean, there's a talking raccoon sidekick, there's cyborg clones, there's swords, and a little bit of kind of sorcery. I mean, it's all over the place. It's really fun. But it is going to show you a lot of butts.
Hey, that with two T's, not one, all right? Just folks, clarify.
That comment from Tech, really cool. Thank you, Tech. One of my favorite things about Oneshi is the amazing opportunities you bring to independent creativity.
Thank you.
Isn't that amazing? When you affect people like that and they see the value that you bring to the culture as a whole, thank you. Thank you. Thank you again. Because again, this is for me what comics should be. Just let's have fun. Let's have a good time. Let's touch on subjects, you know, in a fun way.
Sure.
And that's it. I mean, what's the problem? And then that you are looking out for those folks that, you know, may not have the opportunities, you know. Exactly. Thank you for doing that too, and allowing them that chance, that window to, you know, hopefully do something great with this amazing, beautiful, independent label that's out there right now. This is the beauty of indie. Hey!
So
it's okay, Tech. It's all right. I could understand. I see the commentary. So that means, and I love the word. Exactly. She said yet. So you better do this. You know, get her done. Get her done. Get her done. Submit.
Yeah. We really believe that the gatekeeping that's been done for so long, especially in the comics industry and in so many other industries, like you said, it's not helping anybody.
It doesn't.
And there is plenty of room for people to come in and tell their stories and make their art and be heard and have an audience. Because, I mean, everybody wants to find the comic book or the graphic novel or the movie or the TV show or the whatever, the community that feels right for them. There is plenty of room for everybody to take part, and, you know, trying to keep people out and keep people down is just not helpful to anyone who's trying to find their community or anyone who's trying to make something and put it out for a community. Like,
and it hurts the industry just overall, because if you're trying to stifle creativity, then you're hurting the future of the culture. Don't stifle anyone. Let people do what they do. And again, if you don't enjoy it, that's okay. Just don't buy it. That's all. Look for what you want. And let me tell you, if you don't like anything that's out now, there's a huge archive. So, you know, go ahead in the past and buy what you want then. That's all.
We do still have that middle finger salute, though, for the Gators, for the, you know,
and actually,
bigots and that kind of thing.
The reason that we started Oneshi Press is because we put together an 8 or 12 page sample of Tracy Queen and one for Pack.
Yep.
And we sent them out to every comic book publisher Like the big ones, the little ones, the tiny underground ones. We sent them out to everybody. And we actually got a lot of really good feedback from editors.
We love this. That's great. Thanks for sending it. But
once we did with that,
so bring it back around, you know?
Yeah, basically, especially for Tracy Queen, the main thing was, well, this is a story that is sexy, but it's not about the sex. So it doesn't fit in our erotic comic section, but it's too sexy for our not erotic comic section. So we can't touch it. We don't have a slot for it.
Talk about that, because that's the one thing that you mentioned, that Tracy Queen is not a sex object, but rather a sex subject.
I just came up with that recently. I really
like that. It's perfect.
So give me that reason in there. What does that mean to you?
So a lot of the time, the way that we've been, raised or raised into our culture in America and much of the Western world is like, once sex becomes involved, right, our brains like shut down.
Meltdown and thinking with the wrong parts.
And exactly. And like we believe that, especially if someone chooses to be sexual, especially a woman, that she becomes a sex object. Like we can only look at her and objectify her. And that's been a big part of the conversation, especially a lot of feminist ideology has said that that's the way it is, that it's necessarily like the male gaze looking at a woman. But we haven't spent nearly as much time saying, well, what about that woman's experience? What does she think? Is she's not just an object, she is also the subject of her own story. What are her motivations? And I think a lot of the time we assume that person is doing this not because she wants to, but because she's been forced to, because she's now being hurt by other people. And the sad truth is that does happen sometimes, and I don't want that to happen. So what I have tried to do with Tracy Queen's character is make a character who makes her own decisions, does this kind of work on her own terms because she wants to. This is the choice that she's made and the journey that she's on. And so rather than her being objectified and just looked at by other people, she's actively making her own choices and choosing what she wants to do with her body. So she's the subject rather than the object. And I think that there's right now, there's not a whole lot of room for stories like that because they feel really foreign to us. We're not used to it yet. But I think that's changing. I think that a lot of entertainment is starting to be told more from that viewpoint of let's actually examine what's going on for this person. And so I hope that this story can be an entry point for kind of flipping that script and thinking about it a little differently for most people.
I want to add to that. As someone who outwardly, I present very male, very masculine, and very comfortable with that. So a lot of other people assume, oh, you're a guy, I can talk to you like a guy, right? So people come at me with sometimes I hear locker room talk of oh, blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Dudes, that's how dudes talk. And
that's how dudes do.
But again, it's not a disrespect. It's just what it is. This is what it is. This is what it is. And people don't understand that. And women talk a certain way about men too. So that's what that is. So, let's make sure we show that side too. Women dog men. Men dog women, and so it's mutual dogging.
The interesting thing there is, though, when a guy is having a lot of sex, it's hey, he's successful.
He's a hero. He's the man. He's the man.
Yep.
But when a woman is having a lot of sex and being promiscuous, she's broken. What happened to her? She must have been hurt. She must have gone through something. She must be disrespecting herself. And it's
wow. That just like sex.
That right there.
How about she's
everything that's wrong with this false gender narrative. It's the idea that if a guy's having a lot of sex, hey, good for him, he's winning. And if a girl's having a lot of sex, she's broken. What happened to her? Yeah. Ladies, you need to respect yourself.
She's not a proper lady. Yeah, whatever. It's all right. Have fun. What? You cut pimp too? Give me my phone.
It's nonsense.
Yeah, it's nonsense. And as long as you're being healthy and careful and consenting to everything that's going on, and so are your partners, do
that's all that matters. Exactly. Who the fuck cares? And anybody judges, they're just jealous because they ain't getting it.
right. There's a lot of that. There's a lot of that, I'm sure.
That's what I'm saying. It pretty is, you know what I mean? Hey, but for real, I mean, I appreciate that what you guys are doing, really trying to do something different and just bring some fun. And again, just something for us to enjoy, just as grown folk.
Yeah.
Again, while we enjoy superhero stuff or fantasy and magic, let's hit some other stuff too. Sometimes, like hey. Sometimes I don't want to watch a movie. Can I get a cool story? I don't want to be reading these novels, but if I could get this in comic form, hey, that's fun.
I believe that a story like this just shows that like sex and adult material can be a part of a story, and it can actually be an important part of the story, but it doesn't have to be the only thing. There's so much more going on, and I find like you don't see that very often. So I hope that this is a little bit on the groundbreaking side and, helps people, I don't know, see stories in a new context. Like, hey, wow, this sex scene can move the story forward instead of being like
just
the end of it or
being filler, filler. Like most movies, this is why I say it to my wife sometimes. Sometimes I'm looking at these movies and I'm like, that scene wasn't even necessary because it was just to show it. Just for ratings, exactly. Look, they connected. You could show me that people connect without having to penetrate each other.
They could have had dinner or like a nice talk,
just chill or insinuate of what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Exactly.
You gotta do it, but again, you guys are doing something awesome. So there you go, folks. I need you guys to visit this website because you could get right now Tracy 1 through 3, which is coming out. But you can get a whole bunch more on this website. All right. Follow them on social. They're everywhere. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter at Oneshi Press, which is spelled like ONESHI Press. You don't know how to spell that? Please look it up.
We're grown. We know how to spell
Exactly. And then please go to Kickstarter right now. You got to sign up for it to kickstarter.onishipress.com. Sign up, get that notification, and then immediately throw your wallet at the screen because this is what you need in your life. Yeah, just throw them credit cards, get the highest tier that you can, and let's talk about that. Can we tease any tiers that we're gonna get before we go?
Yeah, what's the best way to do? Should we send you you mean like sending you images or just tell you?
Sending me an image, but tell me something right now. Tell us.
You want to hear the highest?
Okay, let's go with the highest tier so we can already tease people what they need to look at.
Okay, Lynsey, I'm going to call on you to read out
oh my God.
all of these things.
The highest tier is called the Tracy Queen tier. And people will get Tracy Queen 1, 2, and 3 in print and digital so they can read it wherever they want. They will get a Tracy Queen cube craft doll. It's like a paper cutout doll that you put together and it makes a little boxy
it's like Tracy a little puzzle.
We'll also give them the Tracy Queen theme song by David Garinger.
Amazing.
You get a bunch of stickers and postcards from Tracy Queen's World and other Oneshi Press projects. They'll also get the variant cover of Tracy Queen 3 by Diana Camaro. And all those books will be signed by the two of us.
Oh.
Grabbing this to show it. Sorry.
Also get at least one art print. And we just got these confirmed. We're going to have custom-made Tracy Queen Lego minifigs.
Oh, shit. Say word. Yeah.
And
how did you feel about that? You're going to have your little
figures.
I'm so stoked. You don't even know. Oh, man. Legos is going back to, my first love, So having a little, minifig of my character.
She's going to be in her battle lingerie also. So she's got the armor and fishnets and the whole thing.
Adam is going to eat this up. My God.
Oh, snap. Tracy Queen signs. This is the Queen Bee logo.
Oh, snap. I see it. I got it. You got it right there, yo. Hey.
I'm having a hard time.
And it changes color too.
Oh, yeah. It's got a remote, so it's programmable. So you can control how it changes or put it on whatever color you want or whatever.
The highest tier also comes with our comics anthologies.
All of them.
Mr. Guy Zombie Hunter issue 1, 3 issues of Pack, 1 original art page from Tracy Queen volume 1.
Like actual pencil on paper.
Oh,
and
wow.
The 1/12 scale fully posable Tracy Queen action figure that we.
Get the hell out of here! You got an action figure, son.
Yeah, and she is like fully posable too, and super hyper realistic, like anatomically correct. It's
Wait a minute. We'll put it in the middle of the screen for a minute.
Oh yeah.
Joints. Okay. So I don't see the joints.
You don't see the joints, right?
Oh,
Wild.
that's so cool. There we go. Yeah, I see it. Wow, that's so dope. Wow.
I mean, yeah,
So
it's just silicone.
She's custom too. She's got Tracy Queen's hair and makeup and everything.
Okay, I am digging that, yo, because all these, okay, that's already different because all these toys we see joints. That is so cool. So how many points of articulation does it have? Do you know? What's the
I couldn't even count because there's
23 points. Oh shit!
It is like, and it's great drawing reference too.
Yeah,
that's what I've been using her for is drawing reference. And I was like, people might want to buy these. Like, these are really
there's
cool.
no joints on it. I mean, so realistic looking. I mean, you look at my figures, everything has joints. So,
you can see the ankle and wrist joints, and I think that's it.
That's fine. If I don't got to see the elbows, the knees, that looks pretty cool, man.
Even like her lower back is like fully rotational. Her hips are rotational. Like,
wow.
Her neck can rotate. It's wild. It's
okay. I need to know
I've never seen.
What's the secret that is cool. Can you give away the secret? You're like, yo, how long did it take you to find somebody that could produce that type of quality product?
I can't tell.
Hey.
The Kaiser Roll Mafia is like over my shoulder, like you're not going to say anything, right?
Soon. Comic book coming soon. I need to see Kaiser Roll Mafia. You know, you're gonna have to move. FBI, please get involved here to protect them in case.
Right.
This is the Illuminati of roles.
We're the truth tellers.
And they will probably hit the wrong button, folks. Don't you worry, they hit the wrong button. And they should be back momentarily so we can close out the show. Things happen. You know, either that or this is actually the Kaiser Roll Mafia that just did some shit over here. Oh my God. I know. I was about to say, I think the Kaiser Roll Mafia did something here.
They were just waiting. They were like, all right,
you scared me.
Take him out.
They figured out how to hack me and said, let me take him out right now. Those mother effers. Everybody was nervous right now. They got scared. They said, holy shit, yo, what happened? King K came for you, yo. For real.
So, and yeah, that all 11 of the anthologies, Mr. Guy 1 and Pack 1, 2, and 3 are also print and digital.
Oh my God.
Every single one of them signed.
What a library, folks.
So
please
all of them
stay tuned.
That's like our top tier. So you want to save up all your allowance if you want to get that.
Get it right there. Sign up now because you want to get it. Because it's beautiful art, awesome writing, awesome characterization, touching on some fun themes, all right, adult themes. So again, folks, not for your kiddies, all right? Don't do that. Even the toys, maybe the Lego.
The Lego, maybe. Even the Legos in battle lingerie. That's a bit risque.
But it's all right. I mean, Red Sonja walks around in battle lingerie. Hey, you know, just because it's armor doesn't mean it's not lingerie. Okay?
Right.
Tracy has a very strong style aesthetic, you know. She can't make her battle armor look different than what she normally wears. That would just
she's from New York. Of course, she's gonna have style.
She's a brand, you know.
She's got a brand.
Yeah. Shit, bro. What is the Paris Hilton of motherfucking heroes? Right. I have a brand, folks. Yeah. I love it. But it is amazing. You guys are dope. I love the energy. So I just want to say, you know, I always give my flowers to creators. So I just want to say thank you. You guys are a power couple. I see you guys as the future. Right now, you are the prince and princess of power couples.
Aww.
All right. And as the world starts to know you, soon you're gonna replace the current power couple.
All right.
You know who the current power couple is for me?
Who is the current power couple?
Right now.
For me, I call them the Jay-Z and Beyonce of comics. For me, it's Jimmy Palmiotti and Amanda Conner.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, right now, they're king and queen of comics. They do such awesome projects through their paper films and all that stuff. And you see them at cons always together, kicking ass.
That's awesome.
But I see you now as that royalty too now. So you are the prince and princess.
There's room for more, right?
The world is huge. You could have your court. Actually, you know what? Then you are the king and queen of Montana of comics right now.
I'll take it.
Our
I love it.
fiefdom.
I hope everyone who followed us to this stream is also now following Al, because Al, you're awesome, and
thank you,
we're so glad that we got a chance to meet you. This has been
I'm
great.
happy. I'm happy that, you know, whatever happened before, look, we corrected it, and I was able to hang out, talk some awesomeness with you guys. It's a great book, and please, folks, you got to support, because these people are awesome. Real talk. I mean, they put on themselves out there. So again, these are people that are doing something different. They're brave and bold. And, you know, if you can't do that, don't talk shit. All right. Celebrate creative people like them. They're bringing stuff for you that are just going to put smiles on your faces and, you know, bring some value for your buck. Trust me. Again, Tuesday, throw your wallet at Kickstarter. You will not regret it. And please follow them. Oneshi Press, all over the socials. Again, I'm going to spell it again. ONESHIPRESS. All right. Everywhere on the socials. Please visit their website, samespelling.com. You know, buy everything. Get ready for that Kickstarter. Thank you again. All right. You guys rock and roll. And
you're awesome.
Folks, so for mi familia, for the Crusaders, you know what y'all doing. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the comments. I love you guys. Outro tells you what to do. And tune in a little bit as I talk to the next big homie about their project. Wepa! Hasta la próxima, mi gente. I'm out. Thank you for listening to the Comic Crusaders podcast. If you like the content, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Also, please visit comiccrusaders.shop and our extended podcast family over at undercovercapes.com. And also make sure to download the Comic Crusaders app on the Google Play Store today.